Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? Well, thank you very much for the host who has given me time to present our research. Before starting the presentation, I would like to introduce the authors of this research. They are Mr. Dewi Aprilianingrum, Miss Siti Ummi Masrurah, Miss Nawal Arafah, Mr. Alvin Nur Sahab, and me, myself, Fakturmen. On this occasion, we also express our gratitude to the lecturers who have guided us in conducting this research. Well, at this time, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Fakturmen. And now, I am going to present our research under the title Explorative Study on the Impact of Pandemic COVID-19 on Online Learning of the First Middle School of Cibeuteung, Muara Village. The purpose of this research is to analyze the online learning process, supporting factors and inhibiting factors for the implementation of online learning during this pandemic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now I am going to talk about the first is introduction. We know that almost all countries in the world have experienced crises or emergencies in all sectors due to coronavirus pandemic, starting from the economic crisis, health, and even education is also affected. One of the most affected countries in our beloved country, Indonesia. In Indonesia, has been recorded that more than 350,000 people have tested positive, of which around 12,000 people have died due to COVID-19, and around 280,000 people were recovered. The main sector we highlight is the education sector, where the world of education is very affected, such as formal and non-formal schools like pesantren or Islamic boarding school. In an effort to prevent and break the spread of COVID-19, our government implements learning with an online system where the system applies to all schools. However, in reality, it turned out that there are many obstacles faced by both educators and students, even the parents of students, starting from the constraints of infrastructure such as smartphone, internet connection, and other that are often encountered in the field, especially in rural area. Students are stressed because they have been at home for too long, and most of the students do not study in times wandering around. Then the parents of students are also stressed, supervising and accompanying when learning and assignment. Therefore, we are intrigued and motivated to research the impact of this pandemic on the learning system. Selection, the object of research in junior high school in the village of Cibeuteung, Muara, namely at the Islamic Junior High School of Binaan in Cibeuteung, Muara. The background in choosing this school as place of research was a school in a rural area, just founded about 5 years and accreditation still C. Ladies and gentlemen, the second is method. The research method was using the exploratory case study, and the research approach was the qualitative case study method, used to obtain information about the contents and consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic on teaching and learning activities at junior high school in Cibeuteung, Muara village. The data collection technique used in this study was interviews and documentation. The type of interview used in this study was a semi-structured interview. The data in this study was in the form of essay to interviews from the subject were five teachers of Bina Insani Islamic Junior High School. The answer to the interview were a description of the influence of COVID-19 at Bina Insani Islamic Junior High School. The following interview guidelines are as Table 2.1. Interview guidelines. Subject. Question. Teacher. How is the implementation of learning activities at Bina Insani Islamic Junior High School after the COVID-19 pandemic? What is the result of online learning? Are there any factors that support teachers in teaching and learning activities during the COVID-19 pandemic? Are there any factors that hamper teachers from teaching and learning activities during the COVID-19 pandemic? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the third is research and discussion. The following are the results and discussion of this research. Some of the impact facts by Bina Insani Islamic Junior High School were: first, in terms of facilities, not all students have personal smartphone and can buy internet data packages. Besides, they are learning from their home. That internet signal in some places for students is often very bad, so they cannot participate in the learning process properly. Second, in terms of process, at Bina Insani Islamic Junior High School, there are still many teachers who cannot do online learning using Zoom or Google Meet, so they only rely on assessment via WhatsApp. The effect is the students are lazy to do their assessment. This is also influenced by the fact that students do not understand the material given. In addition, their parents are also stressed by many assessments given by the teacher, most of which are only given via WhatsApp but not face to face. Third, the impact faced indirectly in the lack of character value inculcation. This is due to the distance between the teacher and the students. Such a situation is certainly not in accordance with the aim of the current 2030 curriculum, namely in the inculcation of characters values for students. This character value certainly cannot be separated from Islamic values. This refers to the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, which was narrated by the friend of Umar bin Khattab in the Tankihul Qawl, which contained, whoever walk to a pious person in matters of seeking knowledge, then every step of his foot is 100 goodness. And whoever sits side by side with the pious teacher and listens the knowledge from him, then each sentence counts one goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, and the last is conclusion. In order to break the spread of COVID-19 in the school environment, Bina Insani Islamic Junior High School implements online learning as a solution for implementing learning. The result showed that the student did not fully have the facilities and infrastructure to carry out online learning. There were weaknesses in online learning. Students are not well controlled during the online learning process. Yet, it causes lack of student character values. Weak of internet signal and high quota fees are challenge for online learning. However, online learning can reduce the spread of COVID-19 at schools. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.